I want to give a shout out to, he is a pastor in the Great Plains. His name is Chuck Baldwin. And he is somebody who believes that we need to get away from what is going on in not just with Israel's genocide, but he's also somebody who believes that Christian Zionism is going to be the death of Christianity. And I would agree with him, which is also why it's important for other pastors to step up and say what needs to be said. Very rarely have we seen, again, the televangelists very rarely are going to be the ones that are going to say anything that needs to be said, because again, this is a grift. This is a career. It's all about making money. This is what we have been reduced to. And right now, we are faced with that reality of, well, how are we going to get away from this? The ties are thick, but here is what Mr. Baldwin had to say.
Watching the horrific acts of a lifetime. In our entire life, we have never seen or never will see again the horrific acts that are now being committed before our very eyes by the Zionists against the Palestinian people. What's happening in Gaza is a Holocaust.
The difference between somebody like Mike Huckabee and Chuck Baldwin is somebody actually preaches or practices what they preach, whereas the other one is just a lunatic, genocidal psychopath. We're going to talk about Huckabee at greater length on Monday. But this is a reflection of the importance of the Christian Zionist combativeness that is going to become even more prevalent going forward. Chuck Baldwin is taking a huge chance by going after Christian Zionism. He is an evangelical preacher. This is a game changer. And this is a message that should be spread everywhere. We need more evangelical pastors saying, enough is enough. We are breaking ties with Israel. That's it. And no amount of bribery, because that's what it is going to change our minds on this point.
Christians and conservatives who support Israel are supporting a Holocaust. Talking about whatever Holocaust you think happened back in the 1930s. What about the Holocaust that's going on right before your eyes?
It depends on who's talking about it. You see, this is also the problem that I think a lot of people tend to forget. I often reference Whitney Webb, who says it is one nation under blackmail. And that is effectively what we're dealing with here. One nation under blackmail. So many of these preachers are either bribed or blackmailed or both. Chuck Baldwin has made his peace with God, and he knows that he's in harm's way by speaking out and using his large platform. And also want to give a lot of credit to, I know this is coming from Breezy Politics, great channel to follow on Instagram if you don't already, guys. Keep this in mind. Any person who's a pastor or a rabbi that is political in any way, shape, or form, they're a politician. And they should have their tax-exempt status removed as a result. The separation of church and state must be crystal clear. There can be no distinction or exception. You are either practicing what is in the church and removing it from the state, or vice versa. And we all know that that line has been blurred one too many times. So credit where credit's due to Pastor Baldwin. He has a little more to say.
This egregious act of betrayal against the dignity and honor of the holy office of pastor must be opposed by pastors of conscience. If pastors have a conscience, they must speak out. How could a pastor see if they refuse to look, hear what is happening in Gaza today? and have no conscience to speak out against it. What does that tell you about that man? He's either a coward or he is a man without conscience.
Or he just wants to get his pockets lined, which is often the case. More than any other reason, that is why people are willing to look the other way. We've talked about this at length. When we addressed Sarah Horowitz, the reason she says what she says regarding the state of Israel and the need for more censorship is because it's for her benefit, it's her career benefit. That's the bottom line. Appreciate you, Hasdak. And guys, if you're not currently subscribed on Rumble, make sure that you do subscribe over there. Subscribe to Revolutionary Change on Rumble. We don't want to take any chances because we know at any time they can pull the rug out from under us. So just a simple subscribe. It's a backup. We are streaming currently on Rumble. We're also streaming currently on Instagram. So we're getting out there. And even though YouTube is obviously our home, this is where we want to be. And also, I ask each and every one of you, if an ad does pop up, if it's a short ad, 15 seconds, 30 seconds, if you let it play, that helps us grow our channel as well. That's a way of making a contribution to our channel without actually having to do a super chat or to do to go to patreon.com as well. So with that said, I really do believe that Mr. Baldwin is setting the type of precedent that is, it's vital. Just as Marjorie's move is a vital move, I cannot say enough about how much this matters. That a pastor is willing to put himself in harm's way, a well-known pastor, mind you, that has a pretty big platform, and is willing to say, we have to break away from Israel. This is necessary. Hats off. And the reason I bring this up is because right now, friend of the show, Ryan Grimm, has been hot on the trail of this Israel attachment with Jeffrey Epstein. And we know that the biggest reason that they don't want to talk about this, the reason why the Epstein files have been swept aside, again, the most vulnerable are always the pawns, like the women that were sexually abused. This is not what they're trying to protect. What they're trying to protect, the powers that be, is the intelligence connection between Epstein and Israel and the illicit behavior that has been going on for decades. You're aware of their relationship with Ehud Barak? I think that's how you say it, right? Epstein was connected to everybody. Congresswoman Plaskett was texting him during a hearing with Matt Taibbi. Matt Taibbi, where are you, baby? Come back to reality when you can. I want to play a quick clip from our friend Ryan Grimm, give us a quick update on where we're at right now and why this is so significant. The whole tie-in between Zionism, Epstein, and the state of Israel.
A breaking story over at Dropsite News on Jeffrey Epstein and the role that he played in developing Israel's offensive cyber weapons empire. This is the fifth in the series that we've been doing at Dropsite. If you Google Dropsite News and Epstein in Israel, you'll find the page where we're collecting them all. There's 5 so far. They're all worth the read. There'll be many more to come. This one in particular has the most psychedelic headline of a story that we've done yet, and it talks about the way that Epstein worked with former Israeli Prime Minister Ehud Barak with the Swiss bank Edmund de Rothschild in order to try to finance a cyber weapons empire. Epstein. Everybody says, "What Epstein? What did he really do? How did he really make his money?" Well, we're answering that question piece by piece. And what he was doing here was attempting to create a fund of funds that would collect billions of dollars from warlords, sanctioned creatures, Israeli investors, American investors, Intel linked firms and build a cyber weapons empire that they would then sell around the country, and in the process also create security agreements between that country and the state of Israel. That's one of the major things that he was doing. Go read the story. You can learn more about it. Of the 5 pieces, the first one that we did is on a deal that Epstein brokered between the state of Israel and the state of Mongolia. And it was kind of a small story, but we picked that as the first one because it was easy to do, it was easy to understand. We had the documents, we had the correspondence, and it was the first case that we could show of Epstein not just operating on behalf of the state of Israeli investors and like former prime ministers, but actually operating on behalf of the state of Israel.
It's always about Israel. It always will be about Israel. And just as Congressman Burchett said, why did Marjorie step away from Congress? It's because of her disagreement with Trump on Israel. That's the reason. I believe it. And I believe that there is no other reason why the Epstein files have been protected the way that they have. Like I said, that is not to downplay in any way, shape, or form sexual crimes, trafficking, and the like. But make no mistake, it is done as a means to an end. One nation under blackmail. And the very powerful, who have a lot to gain and lose with the state of Israel, is why this is happening. This is why the tentacles run so deep. Why do you think that the CIA, who on the anniversary, the 62nd anniversary of maybe the darkest moment in our nation's history, I don't think anybody at this point doubts that the CIA was involved in JFK's assassination. Does anybody doubt that the CIA is involved with the illicit behavior of the state of Israel and of when Jeffrey Epstein was operating the way he was? Who would doubt this? The files will come out and they'll reveal plenty of sexual deviance. But what they're desperately trying to scrub is information like what Ryan's talking about. How deep do these connections actually go? Well, as you can see, they run very deep. And it's one of many reasons why we don't have nice things. Ryan has a little more to say.
We also did a story about how he helped set up a back channel between the state of Israel and Russia during the Syria civil war. One about how he helped broker a security agreement between Israel and Ivory Coast and sold Cote d'Ivoire, basically a surveillance state that the authoritarian president there has used to rewrite the Constitution and kind of crack down on dissent there. So go check these pieces out. I've noticed that they are kind of starting to penetrate the public consciousness. I see them referenced here a lot, and I appreciate everybody who's kind of overcoming the unwillingness of the mainstream media to talk about this situation. Like in about an hour, I'm actually going to be doing an interview with Australia's largest broadcaster, and there are a bunch of other kind of foreign broadcasters that have become really interested in these stories. But so far, the mainstream media in the United States has completely ignored them.
Gee, I wonder why. Ryan has to go outside the United States to get coverage of a vital part of the breaking of the American system. Hence why corporate media doesn't want any part of talking about it.